You've probably heard the debate a million times. Is AI going to make our society more equal, or is it just a tool to make the rich even richer? It feels like we're stuck in a loop. Well, today, we're diving into a new research brief by Eugene Mawuli-Ataga that breaks that loop with a really surprising take. So, let's get right into it.
So, this is the question at the heart of everything, right? Does AI help or hurt economic inequality? It feels like it should be a simple yes or no. But what if the question itself is the problem? This analysis suggests we've been asking it all wrong, and that's exactly why we can't seem to find a clear answer.
I mean, think about the two stories we always hear. On one hand, AI is the great skill equalizer. It's this amazing technology that helps lower-skilled workers boost their productivity, helping them catch up. But then you hear the other story, that AI is a capital concentrator, a machine designed to funnel all the gains to the people who already own everything. They sound like they can't both be true. So which is it? And here's the big reveal from the research. It's both. AI is actively doing both of these things at the very same time. It's not one or the other. It's a paradox. And unless we understand this paradox, we're going to completely miss what's actually happening to our economy.
So how is that even possible? Well, this is where the research introduces a brilliant new framework called the dual-channel mechanism. And honestly, this idea pretty much changes the entire conversation.
Okay, so imagine two powerful currents in the ocean, pushing in completely opposite directions. That's what AI is doing to the economy. One current, which we'll call the labor channel, is pulling us toward more equality. But the other current, the capital channel, is dragging us hard in the other direction.
Let's start with the good news, the labor channel. This is where AI acts as an equalizer, and the numbers are kind of staggering. One big study found that when lower-performing call center workers were given AI tools, their productivity shot up by an incredible 43%. That is a massive jump, and it shows that AI really can help close skill gaps.
But here's the other side of the coin, the capital channel. While AI is helping some workers get better at their jobs, it's making the owners of the AI systems incredibly wealthy. The IMF actually modeled this and predicted that AI will increase wealth inequality, which they measure with something called the Gini coefficient, by more than 7 percentage points. That's a huge shift. The people who own the capital, they're the ones who are really cashing in.
Okay, so if you thought that was complex, hold on, because it gets even messier. It turns out that the very data we're all relying on to understand this stuff is full of major problems and contradictions. So check this out. This is what the research calls the silicon ceiling. You've got a whopping 88% of companies saying they've adopted AI, but only half of their frontline workers are actually using it. There's this huge gap between a company buying the tech and the people on the ground actually getting to use it. So that whole equalizing effect we just talked about, it's not even reaching a huge chunk of the workforce. And the evidence itself is shaky. This quote is from Eric Brynjolfsson. Now, he's the guy who led that really optimistic call center study we just mentioned. But just a couple of years after publishing it, he's out there publicly warning that AI could actually widen the wealth gap. You know, when the researcher behind the most positive equalizer studies starts sounding the alarm, you know things are complicated.
And the problems just keep piling up. You have the IMF's own model showing that wages are becoming more equal while wealth is becoming less equal. That's a huge internal contradiction. We're also comparing studies that are like apples and oranges. AI in a call center is totally different from a robot in a factory. And maybe the biggest problem of all, 3/4 of this research comes from US-led institutions, with almost nothing from the global south, where the stakes are arguably the highest. We're flying with some serious blind spots.
So, it's a complicated problem, and the data is a bit of a mess. What are we supposed to do? Well, the good news is, this brief doesn't just leave us hanging. It actually proposes a really clear 4-part strategy to deal with all of this.
The plan is called the Four-Wedge strategy. And the basic idea is that we have to do a few things at once. We need to boost the positive effects of AI, contain the negative ones, and at the same time, fix the broken data so we can actually see what's going on.
And this is the most important part. This isn't just some academic thought experiment. It's a real, actionable blueprint designed to give us some control over where this technology takes us, instead of just letting it happen to us.
So how would this actually play out in the real world? Well, the plan is designed to be rolled out in phases, step by step.
So phase 1 is about what we can do right now. Fix the way we measure things so we can get past that silicon ceiling and see who's really using AI. Phase 2, in the near term, is about changing who profits, with ideas like AI equity funds that give workers a piece of the ownership. And the long-term vision, phase 3, is to start treating the basic infrastructure for AI as a public good, something that everyone can access.
So there it is. We finally have a framework that makes sense of the chaos. It lets us see both sides of AI's impact, the equalizing force and the concentrating one. And more importantly, it gives us a real plan to amplify the good and manage the bad. The blueprint is here. The only question left is, are we actually going to build it?